YouTube is already playing. So tell me why I went to go live just now and it wouldn't upload my picture. It was like, can't upload your picture right now. Damn, this light is right in my face. I got on my shirt from the Martin Luther King Memorial in DC. Thank you to everybody that reached out to me to check on me. I'm good. I'll move this light. This light's right in my face. I don't know if that just made it better or worse. Hi, I'm good. I'm safe. I am straight. Thank you for everybody that checked on me. My friends and family members and loved ones are safe. One of my closest friends, one of my childhood friends, does live by Capitol Hill. And she was like, yeah, I just locked myself in the house all day, didn't go to work, didn't do anything. And she was like, yeah, it's just like, it's wild over here. Helicopters, sirens, shooting, sounds, blasts, just like war zone. So she was like, yeah, she was like, and I'm moving next week anyway. So, hi, I thought about going live yesterday, but I was just like, I need to process everything that is going on. So, and I was like, and I go live on Thursdays anyway. So I was like, I'll just go live tomorrow and we can just like all talk about it. Cause I know I just missed a million people's comments. Hello, everyone. Hello. I just like moved this light and I don't think I improved it. It's like shining directly in my eyeballs today for some reason. Hi, everyone. Hi. Yes, I'm good. I'm safe. I'm good. I'm straight. Thank you. Hi, Nicole. Hi, Hush420. Hi, Vanity. Hi, Sleepy Kittens. Hi, Social Purgatory. Alexandra, Jules, legit been waiting since yesterday for this live. Hi, Camp Powhatan. Abs, Indigo. I'm okay. Adrian, I'm okay. I'm okay. Thank you to everybody that reached out. And, a lot of you guys reached out to me directly. So you talked to me directly. So you know that I'm okay. But for everyone, I'm good. My family's good. My friends are good. Luckily. Very luckily. Because that shit could have went left so quick. Y'all don't even understand. Hi, Mr. Yo King. Hi, Pop of Culture. Child, the Caucasians have lost it. The ghetto! The ghetto! Y'all know Katara that was on the episode of Black Americans Atlanta? She's out of the country right now. Man, I want to be like, Katara, the United States is the ghetto. Don't come back. Hi, Warren. Hi, Trey. Hi, Bree. Hi, Stefan. Hi, Kimberly Frazier. Yeah, I'm good. Hi, it's Brittany Bitch. It's BrittanyBitch.mp3. I live by Capitol Hill in Utah. White people marching up the street all day. It was pretty wild. It's nuts. Hi, World Lover. Hi, Queen. Hi, China. Glad you're okay. The whites are crazy. World Lover. Yeah, I was worried. Wanted to wait until tomorrow. Yeah, to reach out in case you decided to go live. I decided I was gonna go live today and we could talk about it. Hi, Danye. Hi, Mel. The whites are fighting. This country is ghetto, Adrian. Hi, Marcy. Hi, Sincere. Yeah. Hi, Sim. Hi. Hi, Kenneth. Climbing up the walls like they were on crack. It's the ghetto purgatory. Hi, Kendrick. Hi. Yeah. So I don't even know where to start. Let me read some more comments while I think about where I even want to start. Hi, Vanity. Yeah, I'm good. Hi, Tempolano. I was waiting for this one. Hi, Ungodly Hour. Hard to say you didn't see it coming. Okay, I'm going to use that, Mr. Yo King. I'm going to start there. I'm not going to say that I didn't see it coming because like I definitely saw this type of thing coming. However, I am shocked. I was shocked that they allowed those people to get into the Capitol building. Seriously. So I know a lot of people like don't know how it is in DC or whatever, but like they have police everywhere. Like DC is so heavily policed, it makes no sense. And I know a lot of you guys have heard me talk about this. You guys have heard me talk about like how DC is like a straight up police, like it's a police state. It's not a state, but like if we were a state, it's a police state, essentially. Like, the policing is so heavy. Hi, Kyrie. Hi, Bookworm Radio. The policing is so heavy in DC, it makes no sense. I seen a statistic that said, like, DC is the most police city per capita in the United States, okay? So please understand that, like, there is police presence everywhere. So all this talk about, like, there wasn't enough police and the police didn't know what to do. Like, they have a police, like, the police presence in DC, like, is everywhere. Like, yes, like, DC has snipers on the roof, and that's not even a joke. Like, people, like, I see people having this conversation of, like, I didn't think that it would be that easy to get into Capitol building. Like, I can't believe it's that easy to get in. It's not that easy to get in. It's not that easy to get in. Like, growing up in DC, you're literally taught, like, do not fuck around by these federal buildings. Do not fuck around by these government buildings. Do not fuck around by the Capitol, because, like, they will, not only will they arrest you, they will shoot you. They will snipe you. Like, there are snipers. There's a police presence everywhere. Nobody likes driving around downtown in the mall and shit like that at night, because they have security checkpoints everywhere. Everywhere. They have barricades and shit like that everywhere. There's police everywhere, okay? Don't think that it was just, oh, no police and da-da-da-da-da. And DC is like this big, okay? So it's not like the police have to drive 3 hours to get anywhere. Like, Brooklyn is bigger than DC. Like, DC is very small. It does not take hours and hours to, like, mobilize and get any type of police presence anywhere, okay? Like, DC is so heavily policed, and especially those buildings, and especially after 9/11. Like, I remember before 9/11, you used to be able to, like, go into, like, certain buildings, like the Capitol building and stuff like that, and, like, take tours. After 9/11, they even stopped giving tours. Like, you can't even go inside of those buildings, because they were like, oh, people, like, might be able to get in and, like, see the layout and stuff like that. After 9/11, like, they even upped the security even more. So, like, I just want to make it known to y'all, like, please do not think, when you see all these people talking about, like, I never thought it would have been that easy to get in, and it's not that easy. So, y'all know what that means. That definitely means that there was some type of conspiracy. That definitely means that there was some type of conspiracy. Like, there are different, like, levels of police. Like, you have Metro Police, which is, like, the actual city, and then you have, like, Capitol Police. Like, it's their specific job to, like, guard the Capitol. Like DC is heavily policed. You can't just push into the Capitol building with some fucking flagpoles, okay? That's impossible. That's not possible. You can't just push into the fucking Capitol building with some flagpoles and fucking police just standing there watching, or, like, whatever they were trying to say. Oh, it's no police. Oh, we weren't prepared. We didn't have enough police presence. We didn't think. It's 1 million police in DC all the time. Okay, like, please understand. Like, understand that. Like, period. So I'm be careful about what. I'm not saying anything untrue. I'm literally telling you, as somebody that was born and raised in DC and grew up in Washington, DC, what it's like there. So if they want to try to say I'm lying or something like that, they're gonna have to fucking sue me, and I will see their ass in court, fucking Google or YouTube or whatever, because I'm not lying. Like, it's true. Hi, Mo. So, number one, it was definitely some type of conspiracy involved. Absolutely some type of conspiracy involved. No one will ever change my mind, period. Because you can't just push into the Capitol building. I was literally talking to my mom. Me and my mom was both in shock. Like, how have they not all been shot? How have they, like, literally, how have they not all been shot? You cannot just walk into the Capitol building. You cannot just walk into any of these buildings. Okay, period, full stop, the end. So there was obviously some type of cooperation or some type of plan or some type of something that allowed these people to get into the building. And people really don't seem to understand, like, how serious this video is about. You getting blocked. How about that? Bye, get out of here. You will get blocked. You will get fucking blocked. You will get fucking blocked All the people fucking watching, you think you about to jump in these comments with some old racist bullshit, you will get fucking blocked. So you might as well get off my fucking page right now. Now. Because this is not the place. And I do have moderators. And you will get fucking blocked. So don't even start. They waiting. The mods are waiting to block you. They trigger finger ready. Like, you'll get blocked. Okay? For all 188 of y'all watching, you will get blocked if you try some shit. And then don't be emailing me or DMing me on Instagram or crying to me talking about why did you get blocked from the page? Because anybody that gets blocked during this live stream, I'm not going to unblock you. So watch what you say. Watch what you say, because I'm not going to play about this. I personally don't find this funny. I've seen people joking around about it, memes, whatever. Like, I know meme culture and, you know, all that. So I'm not going to say anything about like other people, but like for me personally, I don't find this funny because like people don't understand. Like, then people could have went in there with like explosives strapped to them and they could have like blew up that building. And it's not only fucking lawmakers and fucking congressmen and shit that live in that building. It's regular people. It's regular ordinary fucking Washingtonians and citizens, okay, that they did find explosives. I'm gonna get to that, but I'm talking about like they like the actual people, like they could have had shit strapped to them and they could have hit a button, you know, suicide bombing. Hi Smiley, and blew it up. And it, again, like it's not only congressmen, it's not only lawmakers in there. It's people that work in those buildings that are Washingtonians, right? Regular congressional staffers, regular lobbyists, regular old people that work on the Hill, okay? Not to mention the people that work in the Capitol. So I was talking to somebody about this on Instagram as well, because a lot of people don't understand the Capitol buildings and the monument and, you know, all that stuff is not removed from, it's not like that stuff is up on a hill in a bubble, okay? That area is not removed from any surrounding areas or anything like that. Like, it's people that work in law firms, it's people that just work in restaurants. Like, it's a lot of stuff around there as well. There's people that work directly across the street from fucking the Capitol building, okay? Like, if they had went in there and like blew that building up, there would have been tons of fucking collateral damage. Like, it's not a fucking joke, okay? They could have got fucking pushed out of that building and fucking swarmed into the surrounding neighborhoods, and people fucking live around there. Like, people live around there, people work around there. Like, right, Stephen, like, the Capitol building, the Supreme Court, the Library of Congress, it's like one huge fucking square. Right, Jules. People are like, they should have just blown it up. These politicians deserve it. Like, do y'all know how small DC is? People don't know. People think that DC, people have weird ideas about DC. Like, it's ordinary people that live in DC, period. And all of those people that live and work, it's ordinary people living and working in DC, living and working and having federal jobs and like all that stuff, okay? So like, that shit could have went way more left. And I'm not talking about like the pipe bombs and the 13 Molotov cocktails that were found and the IED devices and shit like that. I'm literally talking about like, that was thousands of people. All of them people could have had literally bombs strapped to them and they could have just like blew up the whole city. I don't care how y'all feel about the United States government. Like, fuck the United States government. But people saying shit like, you know, they should have blew up the city. No. Stop that. That shit is scary to me. I never would have thought I thought that they were going to let them like march up to the Capitol building. I did not think that they were going to get inside. Right. This was a whole inside job. You just don't have access to a government building like that. Like, you just don't. Full stop. And obviously, we all see that it was a totally different response, clearly, to these white insurrectionists, to these white, you know, traitors, to these white, you know, whatever you want to call them. Obviously, it was a totally different fucking reaction to them than to us when we fucking protest. You know how many people they arrested in one day in Los Angeles during the George Floyd protests and the Breonna Taylor protests over the summer, in one day, thank you, Sabrina, super chat. In one day in LA, they arrested 500 people. 500 people. 500 people. In DC, in one day, they arrested 100 people. They were literally arresting hundreds of people a day. Hundreds. Yes, protesters are still missing. They were grabbing, I know y'all seen some of these videos. They were literally grabbing people, literally snatching people from off the street and throwing them in unmarked vans. And if you haven't heard about this, you can Google it. They were literally grabbing people from off the street, throwing them in unmarked vans and taking them to fucking parking garages and just holding them there every night and fucking interrogating them. They were never formally arrested. There was no paperwork, nothing. And then they just like, okay, you can go now. Like, they were literally on some Gestapo shit. Like, people are literally still missing to this day. Like, so the fact that initially no one was arrested, they stormed the Capitol building. Not only did the police absolutely allow them in, they absolutely allowed them in. They absolutely did not use the type of force on them that they use on us. And I was shocked. I really was shocked. I really got a little bit of a rude awakening yesterday because as somebody that's from DC, I thought that they would shoot those people. Like, even though they were white, I still had, I guess, like a teeny tiny little bit of faith. I thought, because like growing up in DC, like you're really told, like, you do not play around these buildings. You don't want, like I said, like you don't want to drive around there at night. You don't want to get caught around there because they have cops everywhere. They have barricades everywhere and they have security checkpoints everywhere. If you make a wrong turn on Pennsylvania Avenue, and you end up on one of these little side streets somewhere that you're not supposed to be, because a lot of those side streets, they back up to Congress and stuff like that. They will literally pull guns on you, make you get out of your car, all that. Like, so again, please don't think that it's just that easy to like storm the Capitol building and like be let go, because it's not that easy. It's not that easy. It looked that easy because it was allowed to happen, okay? The National Guard was not called in for like hours on these people. They let them run amok in fucking Congress. They got their feet up on the desk. They're taking shit, right? Nobody was arrested initially. They got a nice escort out, okay? While Congress was in session. Again, they could have went in there with bombs strapped to them in addition to the pipe bombs and the Molotov cocktails and the IEDs. They could have went in there with bombs strapped to them and blew up the whole building and then like went in the surrounding areas and like blew that shit up too. Right. Talk about something we have to let them do what they have to do. If those had been some niggas, they would have shot and killed all of us and they would have left all our bodies on the steps of the Capitol for 8 hours, like they did for Mike Brown, as a lesson to all the rest of you niggers in Washington, D.C. and in the fucking country, that you better not even think about this again. They would have left our bodies right there. Instead, the police stood down and stood by. The police stood down and stood by and let them waltz into the Capitol building. I never thought that I would see that in Washington, D.C. in my life. I never thought that I would see something like that in Washington, D.C. in my life. And especially considering like D.C. is so heavily policed. D.C. is so heavily policed. Like, the black people in D.C. are so heavily policed. They have cameras everywhere. Now they acting like they can't figure out who these people are. They asking for anonymous tips. USA Today got a post up, talk about some, oh, if you know who these people are, send us a tip. You guys realize that there's cameras everywhere in D.C., right? You guys realize that there's fucking cameras everywhere in D.C., right? There's cameras everywhere. There's cameras on all the lights. Red light cameras and fucking tickets and shit like that is a big fucking business in Washington, D.C. It's fucking cameras everywhere. I'm sure, right, they didn't have on no masks. Now they talk about some, oh, we need to identify these people. How can we identify these people? Send in some anonymous tips. Number one, you wouldn't be trying to identify these people if you had fucking arrested them. If you had fucking arrested them instead of fucking calmly escorting them out of the building so they could leave. Talking about something, we gotta just let them do what they do and then we're gonna let them leave. Da 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 da. We're gonna escort them out nicely. Because white people could do anything they want. White people can do anything they want, including fucking storm the Capitol building and possibly even blow it up. Full stop, period. And there's plenty of people in fucking Congress that are complicit. Josh Hawley, his ass need to be dragged off. And we know the cops could beat the shit out of people. His ass need to be dragged off. They need to beat the shit out of him. Ted Cruz, his ass need to be Gestapo'd up, thrown in a fucking van, like how they did the protesters, the Black Lives Matter protesters. All the shit that they could do to us, people have literally disappeared. All those people were allowed to leave. First it was, oh, they didn't arrest anybody. Then it was, oh, they arrested 3 people. Oh, they arrested 15 people. Oh, they arrested 52 people. They recovered pipe bombs, Molotov cocktails, IED devices. At least one person was walking around armed with a military-grade semi-automatic weapon. Let me repeat. During Black Lives Matter protests, 500 people were arrested in one day in LA. 100 people were arrested in one day in Washington, D.C. And they had the police and the National Guard at the ready. Oh, we want to preemptively call in the National Guard before we announce that it's going to be no murder charges for these fucking killer cops. We just got another one, Kenosha, Wisconsin. Another one, no charge. Oh, because he believed he was in danger, right? We literally just got another one. Was that yesterday? I feel like I've lived a whole year from yesterday to today. But we just got another one of, oh, no charges. So, oh, when it's going to be no charges, we got to like preemptively put out the police. We got to preemptively call in the National Guard. Oh, they're going to be doing Black Lives Matter protests. We got to preemptively call in the National Guard. They knew. They've been new. Trump has been saying for weeks, January 6th, January 6th, January 6th. How they going to say, oh, we didn't know, we wasn't able to prepare? You didn't know you wasn't able to prepare? Y'all realize how many fucking police is in DC at any given moment? Any given moment. And I seen somebody else say NDC is set on a grid. Yes, NDC is set on a grid, so it's not like they got lost. Like, the fuck? Like, that was that to me, we're already in a war. And y'all have heard me say this, and longtime subscribers have heard me say this. To me, we are already in a war. And I don't say this to scare people. I don't say this type of thing to scare people, okay? But like, we're already, like, I see people feeling like, oh, like, you know, or people thinking like, oh, Biden's gonna come in. Like, they think Biden's gonna come in and like, oh, these people gonna be like deactivated, or these people gonna like turn over a new leaf, and we're gonna have to compromise and reach across the aisle. These people want violence. They want violence. Right, Mel, they were not there to be peaceful, okay? Like, we're already there. We're already in a war. We're already in a situation. Like, whatever words, whatever terminology, like we're already there. They took Confederate flags. Inside the Capitol building. That wasn't even a Zoom. Like, they took Confederate flags inside the Capitol building, y'all. No one was arrested. Congress was in session. The police did nothing. The Capitol Police did nothing. Metro Police did nothing. Now, I did see later on that there was this meme going around of like, oh, night shift has arrived. And then it was police like beating the shit out of the Trump supporters. I was like, that's probably Metro PD. The Capitol Police, it definitely seems like they were in on it. When I seen police throwing people on the ground and beating the shit out of them, I was like, okay, now they've called in the DC police, because like these are the DC police that I know beating the shit out of people. But it's already been fucking 5 hours. Like, it's already been like however many hours or however much time has fucking passed by. Like, y'all let them in, like, period, full stop. The Capitol building, the security on all those buildings is to the max. Like, you cannot just walk in any of these buildings. Like, the fact that we basically, like, essentially seen them just walking in, waltzing in, storming in, that's not allowed. That type of thing doesn't happen. Like, them people would have been dead sniped, period, if they were black, period. Period. And these Trump supporters are obviously everywhere. I see people calling them like, oh, factions, political factions, this, that, and the third. No, this is a coup. Like, this is some, I know Ori's here. Like, this is some Senator Palpatine. Like, we trying to take over the motherfucking Senate. We trying to turn this shit into a motherfucking galactic republic with Trump as motherfucking Darth Darth Trump. Okay, like, they're really trying to stage a coup and like turn Trump into a dictator. Yes, Order 66. They're really trying to stage a coup and turn Trump into a dictator. Okay. And there's obviously insiders everywhere. Obviously, there's insiders in the House. There's insiders in the Senate. There's obviously insiders in the Capitol PD, because there's no way that they should have even gotten in the building. Like, that shit could have. It's really not funny. It's really not funny. That shit could have went way left. Like, that's definitely terrorism. Definitely domestic terrorism. I do have a video on white domestic terrorism. Absolutely. You guys can search my channel if you want to look for it. White domestic terrorism, white male rage. And as somebody that, like, I remember 9/11. I remember 9/11 occurring. I was very young, but I was in school when 9/11 happened. And I remember, people forget this because everybody knows the Twin Towers and everybody knows that the Twin Towers fell or whatever. But people forget that a plane also crashed into the Pentagon. And DC got put on extreme lockdown. So for people to really believe that post 9/11, there was no type of, let me sit up. For people to really believe that post 9/11, there was no type of security plan in play, we already have seen a serious terrorist event in Washington, D.C. in my lifetime. Not even that long ago, okay? A plane crashed into the Pentagon. They locked the whole city down. I remember being in school, and all of a sudden, they start calling names. Oh, such and such, come to the office. Your parent coming here to pick you up. Such and such, come to the office. Your parent coming here to pick you up. Such and such, come to the office. Your parent's here to pick you up. My mother wasn't even able to come pick me up because my mother worked near downtown. And they locked everything down. They locked the metro down. Like, you couldn't get on the trains. You couldn't leave the building that you were in. Like, you couldn't go anywhere. So my grandma had to, like, come and pick me up because, like, my mom couldn't get to me. You couldn't call anybody. The cell phones were down. Like, after that, they did a whole security revamp, everything of Washington, D.C. So don't try to tell me that, oh, there was a breach of security. There's no fucking breach of security, you fucking liars. Like, I almost want to laugh because it's such a bold-faced lie. Like, no, it wasn't. Like, anybody that's from DC knows. Like, anybody that's from DC knows. I seen one of y'all say, like, DC sniper. Like, yes, like, post 9/11, we had the DC sniper. And it was the same thing. When we had the DC sniper, we got put on lockdown. You couldn't go anywhere. Could only go to school and come home. You couldn't be outside. You couldn't wait for the bus. DC has all type of protocols. As our nation's capital, we have all type of systems. We have the color system so that you know what type of threat it is. Is it an orange level threat? Is it a this level threat? Is it a that level threat? We have all type of, like, security plans and contingencies, okay? Since 9/11 and since the DC sniper. Anybody that is from DC knows this. So all this stuff, all these people, I don't know. I have no idea how this, all these people looking around. I don't know how this happened. We're really gonna have to look into this. If any of you guys know who was there, go send your tips in, because now we're trying to find these people, since we didn't arrest anyone, since we just let them storm the Capitol building, then we just let them waltz out, even though they were violent insurrectionists armed with bombs and guns, automatic weapons. No police officer stopped them. Metropolitan Police or Capitol Police. No one stopped them. They were not stopped. They were not sniped. They were just let into the building, and they allowed, even once they were in there, they let them run amok. All they did was first they tried to like lock away the members of Congress, and then they evacuated them. So, and then they were just like, well, we're just gonna like let them, you know, run amok, you know, do what they do, and then we're gonna let them leave. And then they escorted them out. They didn't arrest them, and then they let them leave. And now that people are pushing back, like, whoa, if those had been some niggas, they would have been dead on the steps of the Capitol. Why was no one arrested? Why was no one fucking shot? Where were the tanks? I see a lot of people talking about rubber bullets and tear gas because they use rubber bullets and tear gas this past summer. But in the first wave of Black Lives Matter, 2014, 2015, they had tanks out. For those of you that like forgot or don't remember, or if you were too young at that time, Google it. They literally had tanks. They literally had tanks. This is when we first started having the conversations about the militarization of the police and all of the money that we put into the police. People were like, why do they have tanks? They have tanks. They was literally driving tanks down residential fucking streets and neighborhoods in Missouri. But you want to tell me that in Washington, D.C., our nation's capital, where we've had not one, but two in my lifetime serious domestic terrorist events. 9/11, when a fucking plane crashed into the Pentagon, and the DC sniper, where people were being sniped at random. They really want us to believe that there was no type of contingency plan in play. Like, it's insulting at this point. Like, it's a joke. Like, obviously, clearly it's one standard for niggas and one standard for crackers. There. I said it. Like, it's one standard for niggas and it's one standard for crackers. But like, even outside of the clear double standard, which we all can see, even outside of the clear double standard, it's a conspiracy. Like, it's an actual conspiracy. Like, we're literally watching an actual conspiracy to instill a dictatorship in the United States. For real. It's really not funny. It's really not a joke. Like, and I've been trying to tell people, like, these white people, like, even from before Trump got elected in 2014, I was like, y'all, these white people want a war. They was like, nah, Seren, like, you're so dramatic. Like, it's not that serious. Like, white people no, it's just like a couple of people in their mom's basement, like neck beards and stuff. Like, you're taking it too serious. Like, you can't just go by, you know, a handful of people and what they're saying on the internet. Like, it's not that serious. I was like, listen, y'all, like, these people want a war. Like, they want to fight. 2015, I'm like, y'all, these people not playing. I was like, these white people not playing. They're not playing with you. Y'all playing with them. Y'all think it's a joke. They not playing with you. Okay, I'm tripping. Whatever. 2016, Trump got fucking made president, and everybody's looking around like with the Pikachu shock face. Y'all remember the video I did? I was like, you all know why we're here. Like, y'all, I was like, maybe now people will start to understand that these white people are fucking serious. They're serious. They're not kidding. They're not playing. They're not joking. They're not, this is not for fun. This is not for shits and giggles. Like, I felt like even leading up to what happened yesterday, people are just like, whatever, like, this is just an internet conspiracy theories, and it's not really going to go anywhere. And, you know, Joe Biden won, and Joe Biden is going to be, you know, inaugurated, and he's going to come in, and everything's going to be fine. Like, we just have to get to Joe Biden's, like, no, these people are not going to be deactivated. That's really the word that I'm thinking, because I'm thinking of them as like incels type. Like, these people are not going to be deactivated, especially like, and it's just like, they clearly are being validated. Like, they're being coddled. They're being validated, because for all this time, no one has said what they're doing is wrong. Even yesterday, they did not get arrested. Nobody got arrested. They literally seized the Capitol with weapons and violence. and people did not get arrested. They were escorted out. They were allowed to leave. They were allowed to come the fuck in, right? Like, no one was held accountable. Nothing happened, right? Now that people are making a big deal about it, now we're talking about, oh, you know, what's going to happen, what's going to happen. But like initially, nothing happened. We're talking about these people that are in the Senate that are going along with it, that even after this fucking coup, they're still pushing this idea that like Trump is the real president, Trump is the real true president, da 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 da. These people are serious. They're serious. And you know, you guys can go back and like watch my video from when Trump first got elected. Watch a lot of my older videos from Ferguson. Like, these people are very serious. This is how I feel about it, okay? When we were getting to the first Civil War, okay? We were talking, the thing was the culture of America. We were talking about the culture of America. What is the culture of America gonna be? Is the culture of America, gonna be an open slaveholder nation? Or is the culture of America that calls itself, you know, the face of liberty, the face of freedom, the face of, you know, being against tyranny and all this stuff? Are we going to be that, or are we going to be slaveholders? And you had millions of people that said, we're going to be slaveholders, and we're willing to die to continue to be slaveholders, and we're going to die for that to continue to be the culture of our country. And the war just dragged on and on and on, and it was bloody and destructive until it got to the point where people just wanted it to end. But even the end of the war wasn't really the real end of the war. I was just listening to the radio today, and somebody was like, even after the end of the war, they were just going to like let the southern states come back. They were just going to let them back into the Union. It was going to be no repercussions. It was going to be no punishment. It was going to be no nothing. And then somebody assassinated Abraham Lincoln. And that was even the reason why we got people actually being charged with stuff, or, you know, things of that nature. And really, I feel like we've remained in the same place since then, and we're still in the same place now. Of like, you have people that are like, no, this is our culture. This is our culture. This is our heritage. That's why they took a Confederate flag in there. They were like, this is our culture. This is our heritage. This is American culture. This is what our nation is, and we're willing to fight for that. And then you have like people that just don't seem to be awake to the fact that these people are serious. Like, right, Ori, they're like, this is who we are. And then it's like on the other side, they're like, oh, it's not going to get that far, or, you know, as soon as Biden comes in, we're going to be able to move forward. Like, no. These people are the same people that they froze. My phone started ringing and I froze. Sorry. Can y'all see me? My phone started ringing. No, my phone started ringing. Somebody was calling me, but I shut it down. Yeah, somebody was calling me, so it froze on my end. So y'all can see me? Okay, good. Yeah, it froze. So it's just like, we're still in the same place. We're still in the same place. Slavery was never dealt with, period, full stop. Slavery was never dealt with. The ideology of this country, the culture of this country was never dealt with. It was never dealt with through so-called radical reconstruction, because radical reconstruction got too radical and they snatched that shit back. And then we had fucking Jim Crow and segregation. And then they were like, we can't keep on doing this. So then after Jim Crow and segregation was done, then we had the war on drugs. We had the war on crime, right? We had prison, right? We have literally never dealt with the racist, white, supremacist foundation of this country. The foundation of this country is fucking rotten. And here we are in 2021, and we're still dealing with it, which is why we literally just saw people take fucking Confederate flags, rebel flags, traitor flags into the Capitol building. And they were not stopped. They were not stopped. And it's going to continue. I don't care after fucking Joe Biden gets fucking inaugurated. This is the fucking foundation. Like, it's not gonna stop. It's not gonna stop until it's fucking dealt with. It's not gonna stop until it's fucking dealt with. Number one, we need a formal apology from the United States for American chattel slavery, a formal acknowledgement that it was wrong, and reparations. Full stop, period. That's the first fucking thing that needs to happen before anything else. Anything else is just building on top of this rotten ass fucking foundation, and it's just gonna continue, and it's gonna continue, and it's gonna continue, and it's gonna continue. It's not even about Trump. People, people trying to make it about Trump and like Trumpism and da-da-da-da-da. Like, Trumpism is a real thing, but it's not about Trump. Like, yes, they took Trump flags, but they also took Confederate flags. The Confederacy fucking predates Trump. This ideology and this fucking culture predates Trump. This domestic terrorism, lynching, domestic terrorism. The fucking blowing up of fucking churches in the South, domestic terrorism that predates Donald Trump. And that's exactly the same thing that we're seeing right now. They've been this way. Exactly. Like, they've been this way. So I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear from nobody on the left telling me that it's all going to be good once Biden comes in. That's not true. Just like I said, they're still bombing churches in the South. Still. Just like I said in my video, we're never going back to normal. Matter of fact, this is normal. Matter of fact, we are in the American normal. This is the American normal, right? This is the American normal. Domestic terrorism is the American normal. White people are just starting to like wake up and like see this shit now, but this is our normal. So again, a lot of us are going to have to decide for ourselves, just like I said in my fucking 2021 video that went up on Tuesday. We're going to have to decide for ourselves where we are, where we want to be, and what we're going to be, who we're going to be, and what are we fighting for. Because obviously these white people, they've made it known. They've made it very clear. Dylan Roof walked into a church in Charleston, shot it up, murdered 7 black people. Thank you, Bookworm Radio. Thank you for everyone that's giving super chat. Thank you. Walked into a church, murdered people. And then what happened? He was escorted out and taken to a Burger King to get some food. He was treated real nice. Real nice. Real nice. And we seeing the same thing. We're seeing the same thing. They can lynch some niggas and be escorted out, treated real nice. They could blow up a church and be escorted out, treated real nice. They could fucking secede from the union and have the bloodiest, I'm sorry, 9, I said 7. I'm sorry, you're right, Blind Focus. I stand corrected. You corrected me. Thank you so much. You put the right thing there. You're right. This is exactly the way that things go here. And it's like people are really not taking these people serious. Like, I don't know what it's going to, I really don't know what it's going to take. I don't know what it's going to take. I don't know what it's going to take. I was listening to the radio today and they were talking about essentialism, and they were like talking about how people really need to like strip down their essence of not only themselves and their own body and their own personality, but also the essential essence of what our society is, what our country is. People need to really come to grips and come to terms with reality and the real world that we're living in and the shit that's really going on. People feel like a war is impossible. Like a war is not something that could ever happen, or that, the fall of our fucking bullshit ass democracy, because our democracy really is not real. But people feel like, the fall of our democracy could never happen. People feel like, the fall of our current, presidential model and shit like that could never happen. And these people are literally showing you like they're willing to push until that type of thing happens. Shot that woman in the chest yesterday and her ass fucking died. And her last fucking tweets was like, the storm is coming, QAnon type shit. Like, these people are serious. Like Rome. Exactly, Savannah. And like, motherfuckers better get on board, because this shit is not a joke. It's not jokes. It's not games. It's not memes. People are dead for real. Those people in Charleston are dead for real. That woman that got shot yesterday was dead for real. Oh, in the neck? I thought she got shot in the chest. She's dead for real. Protesters, that have disappeared, never came back, died. The famous picture of the dude with the dreads throwing the canister, he's dead. You guys know that. Like, people have died for real. People have disappeared for real. Like, this shit is real. I don't know what is the definition of a war. Like, I don't know how I don't know how we haven't already met the definition of a war. Like, there's obviously violence occurring. And even if there wasn't violence occurring, we're still clearly in the midst of a cultural war that has never stopped since before the Civil War. It's never stopped. This idea of what is America going to be? Is it going to be the quote unquote home of the free and the home of liberty? Or is it going to be slaveholding, racist, white supremacist, sexist, capitalist, all these things? We have never, ever, ever reconciled with what our country was built on, what the foundations of it are, and what the foundations of these white people are, you know, white American culture. We've never dealt with it. And so we're still seeing it play out now. And for years, these people have been emboldened. Nobody's been taking them serious. They've been coddled. They've been made excuses for. Oh, Trump is just joking. Y'all remember that? When all the shit that Trump said, people used to be like, he's joking, he's joking, he's joking, he's joking, he's joking. He's not fucking joking. He's not fucking joking. He's not fucking joking, and these people aren't either. They're serious. Right. Oh, got taken out of context. Oh, people should still be able to, you know, say whatever they want on the internet. Oh, we're not going to shut down his Twitter pages and his Facebook pages, Mark Fuckerberg, because he creates so much fucking engagement and you make so much fucking money off the fucking shit that this man says that you won't shut his ass down. Now, y'all talk about some, oh, maybe we should lock his page up. Maybe we should, maybe he shouldn't be allowed to post anymore. Oh, wow. Maybe the shit that he's saying on here is having real world consequences. Yeah, Jack is a piece of shit. Fuckerberg is a piece of shit. Like, oh, it's newsworthy, so we're going to allow it. The 24/7 news media cycle, they have a love-hate relationship with Trump. They love this man because he drives ratings. Everything that they fucking, they cover every word he says. Like, yes, he said we should do trial by combat. What's his name? I saw one of you guys just put it. Like, these people not kidding. Like, hi, Teddy. Hi to everyone that just got here that I haven't seen your comments. I'm not really reading the comments right now. I'm just going because I'm tired, to be honest with you. I'm really tired. I'm really tired of people just not calling a spade here. I'm really tired of people making excuses for it. I'm really tired of people not taking it serious. I'm tired of people like still wanting to have conversations about like Caucasians and white people. I'm tired of the both sides, which I did a video on that, as you guys know, like the both sidesism, you know, because that was also a main reason why these people were still allowed on fucking the social media sites. And, you know, they have fucking whole long fucking articles about this shit. They're sending reporters to fucking the middle of nowhere to go talk to these Trump supporters. Oh, we need to fucking hear their side of the story. They're a fucking disenfranchised group. No, they're insurrectionists and they're fucking treasonous traitors. And honestly, if this was motherfucking back in the day, they would have put their asses in the motherfucking gallows. Put them in the gallows, put them in the guillotine, hang their asses, full stop. Traitors, especially considering, yet again, if those had been some niggas, it would have been nothing but fucking bodies laid out on them Capitol steps. It would have been let the bodies hit the floor if that had been some fucking niggas. Giuliani, thank you. He said, fucking trial by combat, thank you. It would have been let the bodies hit the floor if that had been some fucking niggas. Right, stop considering the views of domestic terrorists. Stop with this shit of like, well, we have to hear both sides and we have to see both sides, and these fucking Trumpers and these fucking white supremacists have a fucking voice and shit. Now they see where that got us. And now everybody's running around with a chicken, like a chicken with their head cut off. Like they so shocked. Oh my God, I can't believe this happened. I never would have thought this happened. The only thing I'm shocked about is that they were actually allowed inside of the Capitol. Like they were allowed. They did not just like push through. They were allowed. That's the only thing that I'm shocked about, that they were actually allowed inside of the Capitol again, after, you know, living in a city that has had not one but two serious domestic terrorist attacks in the last, you know, 20 years. In my lifetime, I'm shocked that they were allowed in the Capitol. The rest of this, I'm not shocked about. This is what it's been doing. But the fact that they allowed them inside the Capitol, yes, a whole federal building that they could have blown up, that is shocking. And that clearly shows like how far they're willing to go. And there's definitely some type of conspiracy going on. There's definitely insiders that were absolutely involved. And, you know, we know it's a double standard. We know if those had been some niggas, they would have got killed. We know that. But it's just like, are people going to start taking it serious? Or are people really still waiting for Joe Biden to fucking get inaugurated? And they think Joe Biden wouldn't even come out and call them seditionists. Joe Biden did say it's not protest, which I appreciate, because I'm tired of people calling them protesters. They're not protesters. They called peaceful Black Lives Matter protesters thugs, right? These people that actually did fucking thuggish behavior, climbing all over the fucking Capitol building. Do you guys know how old the Capitol building is? I was literally looking at those pictures like, do you guys know how old the Capitol building is? And they were climbing all over it. They definitely did damage to the building that now the city's gonna have to fix, which means who's gonna pay for it? The taxpayers! The taxpayers in Washington, D.C., who, even though the taxpayers in Washington, D.C. pay state taxes, D.C. is not a state. Taxation without representation, bitch. We have no representation in Congress because we're not a state, even though we pay state taxes. They had people climbing all over the Capitol building, which I know got fucking damaged. Climbing all on motherfuckers' desks. They got their feet up on the desk. They taking shit. They weren't called fucking looters. They're trying to call them protesters. They're not fucking protesters. They're still trying with this false equivalence. They're still trying with this, with this both sides. They're still trying with this, you know, well, why is it that Black Lives Matter gets a protest, but we can't? Black Lives Matter cannot run in the Capitol building. Like, again, false equivalence, out of touch with reality. And they don't have to be in touch with reality, because what's going to happen to them? They're going to get nicely escorted out. The police are going to hold their hands while they escort them down the steps after they allowed them to come in. No one's going to be arrested. No one's going to be held accountable. You know who's trying to hold them accountable right now? The motherfucking stewardess flight attendant union. The flight attendant union is trying to hold them fucking accountable right now, because the flight attendant union is the ones that's talking about these people should be fucking, you know, put on some type of no-fly list. Like, shouldn't this be considered domestic terrorism? Like, we don't want them on our flights. Like, that's who's trying to hold them accountable. The motherfucking airline attendants. Like, bless all the stewardesses, because they were the ones that was like, these people should not be allowed back on planes. Like, we need to fucking identify who they are. And like, now all of a sudden, hi Naomi. And now all of a sudden, they talk about some, oh yeah, let's try to identify them. Which, again, for anybody that just got here, is still bullshit, because it's fucking cameras everywhere in Washington, D.C. It's cameras on every corner in D.C. It's cameras on every stoplight in D.C. Everyone. And not just stoplights either. They have whole corridors. That's what they call them, corridors. They have whole corridors, just regular streets, where it's a whole row of cameras set up. Like 5 of them on both sides. And if you roll through there too fast, snap, flash, 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 flash. Pictures of your face, pictures of your driver's license, pictures of who you're with. You don't even have to be at a red light. They have cameras everywhere in DC. And they're trying to tell me that they don't know who these people are? They got USA Today asking for tips. They got CNN identifying people. That's interesting. And apparently like 99% of them are from out of DC, and as the FBI is looking for them, they're staying in the city. They're domestic terrorists. Big Brother couldn't handle it. Yeah, like right. These kids on TikTok out here doing the heavy lifting. Regular people are fucking identifying these people. Like regular people are identifying them. What do I think about the response of DC's mayor? I think DC's mayor is a piece of shit that's been trying to push the black people out of DC for years. She plays a role in it too. Fuck her too. That's really what I think. She's in favor of gentrification. She's been a huge part of the gentrification that has taken over DC. She's been a huge part in the upping of the police presence and turning DC into a police state. She's been a huge push for more cameras, more cameras, more cameras, more cameras, more revenue from cameras. They recently lowered the fucking speed limit in Washington, D.C. They lowered it from like 30 to 20 or something like that so that they can give people more speeding tickets, so they can have more fucking cameras flash on people. I don't want to hear nothing she got to say. I don't want to hear nothing she got to say. Nothing. Fuck her. That's how I feel about her. That's really how I feel about her. Like, I've talked about her in other videos too. Like, I've never been no fan of her. Like, fuck her for real. Like, she's trying to push niggas out of the city. And she's really contributed to the police state. But now she's trying to act like, I'm going to look into the police presence not being there. And I'm going to look into the fucking cameras and shit. Shut the fuck up. You're not going to do shit, bitch. They're going to pay you just that they've been paying you to be quiet. Or they're going to pay you just that they've been paying you to fucking paint some shit on a street. Oh, Black Lives Matter Plaza. Which looks nice. I'm not going to say that it doesn't, because it does. And it's really nice to see it. But did she stop those hundreds of people from getting arrested? No. When people were protesting last summer, did she stop them from getting arrested? No. Did she look into all them people that disappeared and got thrown into paddy wagons? No. So do I believe she's going to do anything now? No. She's not going to do shit. She's not going to do a fucking thing. She pushed for more policing and more cameras, but the one time it counts, they're useless. It's fake concern. Like, it's so performative. They're like, the whole thing. I used to work in DC. Cameras are everywhere. I know they're lying. Nikki, they're fucking lying. And they're definitely using the fact that, like, I don't know, your average American citizen has, like, never been to DC and, like, doesn't know how things are in DC. Like, DC is heavily surveilled. DC is heavily surveilled. If they really wanted to, like, figure out who these people are and arrest them, they could. But we shouldn't even be in this position of trying to now. We wouldn't have to be in this position if all the people had got arrested yesterday, like they should have been, or shot up yesterday, like they really should have been. Like, if I'm being real, I'm really still shocked that they were allowed in the Capitol building. Like, I'm still shocked. Then people should have been killed. Like, if it had been anybody else, like, you guys don't understand. Like, you can't, like, if you're a regular person, you can't even get close to the Capitol building. They literally have police out in front that will stop you and be like, hey, what are you doing? Where are you going? Is your name on this list? Like, there are cops everywhere. There are cops everywhere. They don't let you get close to the Capitol building. They don't let you get close to the White House. They don't let you get close to this shit. And like, they don't let you get close and take pictures. Like, it's just not allowed. Right. If you drive crazy around the White House or even make a wrong turn, you get shot. I said that earlier. I was like, they have security checkpoints and barricades everywhere. So don't, like, no. This was a coup. It was a coup. It was a conspiracy. They were allowed in there and they were allowed to leave. If they had been some niggas, they would have been dead on the steps of the Capitol building. There's congressmen that's in on it in the House and the Senate as well, obviously. Josh Hawley, obviously, with his white power fist, obviously. Like, everybody needs to be fucking thrown out. Well, you guys know how I feel. You guys know how I feel about our bipartisan system. I think our whole bipartisan system should be ended. And I think for any of you that have never heard me talk about this, if this is your first time tuning in or hearing me talk about this, please look up Helen Landemore. Please look up the Landemorian process, and please look up the concept of a latocracy, because that's how I think that we should be governed. I agree with the philosopher Helen Landemore and the whole idea of a latocracy, where instead of having like elected officials in the House and in the Senate and a president and a vice president, instead of having elected officials where it's picked at random, it's like picked at random. It's a lottery system. It's picked at random. You come in, you do your term, you get the fuck out. It's not a party thing. It's not something you can run for. It's not something you could be elected to. It's just picked totally at random. And you come in and you do your job and then you leave. Right. It's like jury duty. Exactly, Kevin. It's like jury duty. That's how I think it should be done. Because people always say that. Well, if you're not in favor of how we do it now, how do you think it should be done? What do you think is going to be better? Blah, 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 blah. That's how I think it should be done. Helen Landemore, the Landemorian process, or a latocracy. I want to say I've done a video on it. I feel like I talked about it in my video on digital surveillance. I know we've talked about it several times in several other live streams, but that's how I think we should do it. So for anyone that's like, well, if we got rid of it, and you guys have also heard me say that I feel like we'll see the end of elections in our lifetimes. And after what happened yesterday and what's going on with like this presidential circus, like 2016 and 2020, if 2024 also goes like this, I definitely think we're going somewhere. Just like I said in my 2021 New Year's video, we're heading somewhere. Like, we're going somewhere. I'm not sure where it is just yet. I hope that we're heading towards the end of elections as we know it. I hope we're heading towards the end of elected officials as we know it. I hope that we're heading towards the end of Congress and the House and the Senate as we know it. We need a total revamp. It's no going back to normal. I don't give a fuck that if it's Joe Biden or if it's fucking whoever. I don't give a fuck. I think we're coming up on the end of elections. I really do. So hopefully we're heading towards like the Landemorian process and not towards a dictatorship. But right now it seems like it could go either way, to be honest. Because these people they want Trump as a dictator. They want him to like remain in power forever. So I feel like the only logical conclusion, and now people are starting to see what's possible. Trump opened people's eyes to like what's possible, like all these little loopholes and all these little, we can tell people to go to the Capitol and storm the building and they will, like type shit. Like people are starting to see what's possible in terms of like organized politics. And again, you have these fucking traitors everywhere, these career politicians, they don't give a fuck, even outside of this. Right? Even as we've watched these people like haggle over stimulus checks and shit. Well, meanwhile, the regular American fucking citizen is starving to death. Meanwhile, the regular American citizen is at risk of fucking getting evicted. Meanwhile, the regular American citizen is fucking behind on all their bills and all their rent, like broke. Meanwhile, the regular American citizen is a fucking essential worker that still has to go to work, even though their kids have no school, they have nobody to watch their kids, they have to like put their health at risk. We have these fucking fat cat, rich ass motherfucking politicians on both sides up on the hill haggling, okay? Literally, that's what they're doing. They're haggling while people are fucking dying. So I don't think, and now we have people that are really, also seeing the point that they can like attempt a coup as well and not get in trouble and get away with it. Latocracy, like lottery, L-O-T-T-O, latocracy. L-O-T-T-O-C-R-A-C-Y, latocracy. Or you can Google Helen Landemore, L-A-N-D-E-M-O-R-E, Landemorian process, or latocracy. So it's just like our system as it stands is not working, and we're headed somewhere. We're headed somewhere. Like we're heading to some type of precipice, and I don't know where it's gonna go, but this is why everybody really needs to just really seriously be thinking about, like, think about it, like, we going somewhere, like, so how do y'all want to be prepared for wherever we're going? And I don't mean that in like an ominous way, but I mean that in like a think about it way. Like think about it for you personally, like, because everybody's different. Everybody's going to have to decide what that means for them. But like, we're never going back to quote unquote normal. Whatever your idea of normal was before all this, we're never going back. Just like what our idea of normal was before the DC sniper went away and never came back. Just like our idea of normal before they crashed that plane into the Pentagon, it went away and it never came back. So, like, life as we know it is not going back to how it was. So people really need to like consider and think about where we're going and where they gonna be when we get there, wherever it is. But I really, though, I still feel optimistic. I know that maybe that sounds insane, but I hope that this is gonna push to the end again, like the end of elections as we know it, and a more just process, because the way that it's going right now is not fair. It's really not. They argue for months about $600. Bye, Alexandra. Politicians have made it very clear they do not care about the people. Bye. Getting Canadian citizenship. It's just anybody that can look at what happened yesterday and still have their heads in the sand that Joe Biden's going to come in and everything's going to be wonderful again. Child, I got a bridge in Brooklyn to sell you. Anybody that thinks that we're going to be able to just continue on with elections as we know them, with our American society as we know it, I got a bridge in Brooklyn to sell them. Anybody that thinks that we're going to just be able to continue on with fucking capitalism, and even like in a broader sense, like the way that we use resources and, you know, everything, I got a motherfucking bridge in Brooklyn to sell you. Anybody that thinks that it's just that easy to push into the Capitol building and it wasn't no fucking conspiracy, I got a bridge in Brooklyn to sell you. Like, this is not no one-off thing. Like, this is life. Like, this is real. This is real. It's happening. It's very serious. So that's let me start looking at some of y'all comments. Yeah, like, no, like, Sim, they could impeach that clown in 12 days if they wanted. They could meet impossible deadlines if they want. They did it for the last SCOTUS justice. What does that mean? A bridge in Brooklyn to sell you? It's a saying, because there's like a million bridges in New York, and one of them is called the Brooklyn Bridge, and no one can sell it to you. But scammers pretend to sell you things that they can't sell you. Like, I have this amazing park in the middle of New York. I would love to sell you a share of it. You can build your home there. It's beautiful. It's like beautiful property. It's like there's water, and it's called Central Park. You want to buy in? Like, you know, like, you can't buy into that. It's a scam. Politicians are scam artists. I'm selling high school elevator passes. I got beachfront property in Nebraska to sell you. Right. They could have banned Trump if they wanted. Why wait until 2 weeks till he leaves? My great-grandmother used to say that a long time ago. Oh, yeah. If a Republican had been shot or killed, bet Trump would have been impeached by now. I was also listening to the radio, and the person on the radio was like, in addition to the clear racial bias as well, they were also talking about how it's very obvious that when we're talking about like the right versus the left, for example, that the more conservative ideologies are clearly, like, there's a bias. Like, people are allowed to go fucking, you guys realize that like people have been allowed to go stand in front of like abortion clinics, for example, for decades. People have been allowed to go stand in front of abortion clinics, Planned Parenthood, even just like regular OBGYN doctors that happen to perform abortions. People have been able to go stand out in front of clinics for decades with signs, yelling, screaming. They've been allowed to attack people. Doctors have been killed, bombs. Latafeta just put and bombed those clinics. Bombings. Like, they've been allowed to do that for literal decades. They've been allowed to do that. There's never been a police presence put on those people. There's never been no type of National Guard sicked on those people, nothing. But as soon as we started saying Black Lives Matter, right, and we start protesting, it's all this militarized, mobilized response against us, because that conservative white viewpoint is allowed. Our viewpoint is not allowed. they were talking about that on the radio, and I was like, that's absolutely fucking true. Like, that's absolutely true. If you want to go stand outside of a fucking OBGYN that performs abortions with a sign that says like fuck you, and scream at people and harass them and throw shit at them and jump all over them, you're allowed to do that. You're not going to be called a terrorist. You're not going to be called a rioter. You're not going to be called any of that. You're allowed to do that. But if you march for Black lives, oh, it's a problem. If you march to end capitalism, it's a problem. It's a problem, And so I just, I really want more people to like wake up to this. And the only thing I hope is, so another term that I've been thinking a lot about for the last few months is accelerationism. Accelerationism is also kind of the idea that it has to get worse before it gets better. And I guess kind of the more you accelerate certain things, like things have to get worse before they get better. So I hope that, I just hope that more people are starting to wake up. I really do, because it's really like, it's wild that you have people that still really genuinely have their heads in the sand, and they really believe that like all this is related to Trump, and all we have to do is get Trump out of here and all this is going to go away. Y'all, like, I just don't understand those people. They're delusional. I don't know who's more delusional, them, the QAnon people, or just the blatant Trump supporters. I don't know who's more delusional. I really don't. Like, they really think, Mama Kamala and Daddy Joe gonna just come in and, woo, we all gonna be able to sit around the dinner table again and laugh and sing. And they stormed the Capitol building yesterday. They attempted a coup. And they're still not being held accountable. I see that too. Now they're trying to say like, oh, it was Antifa in disguise. I feel like Antifa is like the boogeyman. Like, anytime anything happens, people just be like, Antifa, them Guy Fawkes masks, anonymous. Like, no, it was them. They said what they were going to do. They publicly said what they were going to do. They put all over Twitter and Facebook what they were going to do. They weren't banned from organizing through social media. They're still not going to be banned from organizing through social media. They posted it on the Donald and Reddit. They're still not going to be banned from organizing. But they're going to be like, oh, it's Antifa. Get the fuck out of here. Antifa is an ideology, not a fucking group. Antifa is literally short for anti-fascist. And people are trying to turn that into a bad thing. Let's really sit and think about that. Again, this is a place where you could fucking bomb a black church. You could bomb an abortion clinic. You can fucking bomb a fucking building. You could fucking commit mass fucking murder in a fucking elementary school. And it's all good. It's all good. You'll be calmly escorted the fuck out. Right? But you cannot fucking have the audacity to say, hey, Black lives. Right, movie theaters and shit, they're going to mobilize the whole National Guard against you. They're going to throw you into a fucking van. They're going to disappear you. Like, that's real. That's serious. And once Trump is gone, that's not going to go away. And once Joe Biden and Kamala Harris are in, that's not going to go away. I'm really curious as to how they're even going to do this inauguration. They better do that. I mean, I know they're doing like a virtual thing because of COVID, but they better keep that shit on lock. Because there's obviously some type of conspiracy going on. And there's obviously people that's like in the inner circle that, like I said, like this some Senator Palpatine type shit. Like, for real. Like, this is the type of shit that we watch in movies and TV shows and stuff like that. So I think for a lot of people, it seems like fantasy. Like, it seems removed. Like, it will never happen. Or like, that's not what's happening. Like, no, that's not what's happening. Like, that type of shit only happens in movies. Like, no, that type of shit happens in real life. Like civil wars and hostile takeovers and coups, and that shit happens in real life. Destabilization of governments, that shit happens in real life. America assists. That shit happens in real life. Like, that shit happens in real life. It's not like, it's not a movie. Where was I? Movies prepare you for what's coming a lot of the time. Everybody acting like Biden is some kind of sky daddy. This is literally becoming HBO's Watchmen. Right, like, it could happen. They want to talk about healing. What nobody remembers is that the healing process is painful as fuck. And it's impossible until you purge the body of the problem first. When Joe Biden was like, whatever the fuck he said, like, it's dangerously close to sedition. Like, you can't even, like, we're still coddling them. We're still coddling them. We're still coddling them even now. Even after they just literally stormed a government fucking building. They could have blew that shit up and killed everybody. They could have then went into the surrounding neighborhoods and killed everybody in those neighborhoods. You like, do y'all understand? Like, it's so serious. They could have killed a lot of people. All this because they want to keep a dictatorship. They want to instill a dictatorship of Donald Trump. Right, like they had nooses, all types of shit. Joe Biden couldn't even bring himself on national television to flat out call them seditionists, traitors, insurrectionists. He said it's close to, this is not a protest. It's insurrection and it's close to sedition. Close to? You're still coddling them. You're still on that healing both. We're gonna lean across the aisle. We gotta come together. We gotta unite. As I said in my video, we are never going back to normal. How? Literally. And I was just talking, and you know what? And I'm gonna read you guys' comments to this because I'm gonna pose this as a question to y'all because I was just talking about this with somebody else. I was talking about this with somebody and they were like, I don't want another civil war. I hope it doesn't come to violence. I don't think it's going to get that far. I said, it's already there. I said they had a plot to kidnap and murder a Michigan government official. They staged a coup on the Capitol building. They have already resorted to violence. How does this end and get resolved without violence? How does this end and get resolved without another civil war? How does, like, I'm dead ass serious. Like, I really want to know. And for all the people that are like, Biden is going to get into office and we're going to unite and we're going to heal, we're going to turn a new page and da-da-da-da-da. I really want to know how. How do y'all think this is going to end? Oh, now I'm buffering? Okay, let me stop. Am I still buffering? Oh no, not buffering. Like, I just want to know, how do people think this type of thing is gonna go? The only way I think, and this is what I said too, I said the only way that I think that it can end without some type of war happening is for us to literally accept and acknowledge that the foundation of the United States is rotten, and to like really, but I don't even know. It's to like really dig down deep and like pull out the fucking gangrene, starting with reparations and a formal acknowledgement of the racial bias in this country, the racism, the anti-blackness, the system of white supremacy. I was like, if we start there and then we start actually making some real systemic infrastructural changes on every level, policing, education, jobs, the economy, housing, land ownership, urban agriculture, regenerative agriculture. I was like, if we really start making those changes at the foundational level, then maybe. I was like, but even then, if we start moving in that direction, what are these people going to do? What they going to do? If we start moving in that type of direction, these people are going to get even more violent. So how does this end without violence? How does this end without violence? Let me look at y'all comments. Thank you, Deborah. Super chat. Crazy Cradle Girl said, how, Sway? I'm chilling. I have a nasal drip. I'm good. I'm not like upset or anything. IEDs were found. They stormed the Capitol, zip ties. They plan to hold them hostage. Truth is stranger than fiction. I remember hearing that when I was young a lot. It applies here. They think they can reform racists. They really feel oppressed. They could have held Congress hostage and killed everyone. They value not offending them over the rest of our lives. They're already at work to victimize the woman that got shot. Yeah, and I seen them using our fucking hashtags too. Say her name. Yeah, say that bitch name. She's dead. Say it. She fucking played a stupid game and her ass won a stupid prize. And I love seeing all the people that's pushing back on that on social media. Talk about some, well, you know, if she hadn't been there, she hadn't been breaking the law. And Donald Trump just passed a law, literally just passed a law last year, making it a crime, right? Making it a crime to fucking trespass or damage federal property, parks, buildings, statues. Why did that become a law? Because we were pulling down Confederate statues. So they made a law saying if you touch them statues, you got to pay a huge ass fine, hundreds of thousands of dollars, and you can get up to 10 years in prison time. Why did those people yesterday not get arrested under that law that literally just got put into play? And the handful of people that they did arrest, they charged them with breaking curfew, trespassing. No. All that smoke y'all had for people pulling down Confederate fucking monuments, you passed a whole law about that shit. But these people don't go to jail. This is where we are. This is where, like I said, all I hope is that more people are waking up. Because, like I said, before motherfuckers had their head in the sand, they wasn't trying to believe it. They're literally fighting because black people came out to vote. They're literally trying to disenfranchise people that voted. You have to purge our infrastructure of white supremacist groups. If we have a war on our hands, the supremacists have already positioned themselves to have the upper hand. I was talking to somebody that was like, oh, if it gets to a war, do you really think that people would like be out in the streets fighting? I was like, yes. I was like, they're waiting for that moment. Even people that are not Trumpers and shit like that. I was like, you have this whole subset of people, preppers. I went through like this prepper phase a few years ago. I read all about preppers. I learned all about them. If you've never heard that term, please like Google it. But don't scare yourselves because it's scary. But preppers are people that are literally preparing for like a cataclysmic event. Be it a war, be it the zombie apocalypse, be it whatever. They have bunkers, stockpiles of food, weapons, fucking... They be practicing with bows and arrows and swords and knives, shit that you don't, need, like you don't need bullets for, or shit that you don't need electricity for. Like, they're gonna go out and fight just for fun, just because they want to. Like, it's plenty of people that are definitely prepared to like fight if it got to that. Like, motherfuckers are really in denial. Like, people are really in denial. I know it's scary. That's why I said, like, I'm not saying this to scare anybody. But, like, you can't be in denial. You just can't be. You just can't be. You have to be ready. Like, even if it's just emotionally, mentally, so you're not constantly being, like, barraged by all this shit and feeling like you're fucking losing your shit. Like, you have to, like, understand, like, this is the fucking world that we live in, you know? Let me see what you guys said about... violence. You think violence is inevitable? The boy in blue. Just like in Watchmen with the red gradations. Break It Up. That's what you think has to happen? Absurd. If you guys have never read the book Break It Up by Richard Kreitner, you guys have heard me, some people have heard me talk about it. For anybody that hasn't read it, Break It Up, Richard Kreitner. Another book that everyone should read. On digital surveillance. Something else that everybody should look into. Latocracy, Helen Landemore. Stuff that you guys should look into. Accelerationism. What's another one? There's like another term that's been circling around. It's like false politics or alt-reality politics, something like that. Thank you, Kyla. Super chat. There are too many people in this country at odds for there to be a simple solution this far along. I really can't imagine anything but a final fight, which is unfortunate, but that's it. When you said a final fight, Bookworm Radio, I thought of like a boss fight. I just like pictured a boss fight. The more progress is made, the more pushback from the ops. The violence is already here. They won't even give us $2,000 checks for all Americans. It is, no, it is discouraging. It is discouraging, Imara. They still can't do the right thing and certify the votes, even after they could have been taken hostage, shot, anything. It's freaking ridiculous. These people will still be there once they see that we are progressing. A war is the only way. But then again, it might be an everlasting war if it starts. I don't know. Those lawmakers are jokes. Yes, thank you to everyone super chatting. They need to be made public examples. They pretend that they don't know about racism. Hi, Gary. The head of the U.S. Capitol Police resigned. Right, exactly. Oh, Kyrie and Kai, she should have complied if she had just complied. She was also in the military, the same military that Trump hates. Like, somebody, I did see somebody say, like, imagine, she served like 4 tours or something. Somebody was like, imagine surviving 4 active tours in the military just to be fucking shot by Secret Service because you're trying to break into fucking Congress for Donald Trump, of all people. Like, these people are out of touch with reality. The advantage that we have is that Trumpers are now clearly in a different category. It's supporting everything antithetical to what they claim to value. Yeah, because they were like, why are you guys destroying property? Oh, wait, now they have. It always starts with us, but it only applies to us. These people know how to infiltrate every system, even if it's reformed and restructured. Racism can't be reformed at all. The selective application of the law. Right, they were taking pictures. They were taking pictures with the insurrectionists. Oh, the police was motherfucking in on it, period. I bet the real people paying for that curfew are the DC homeless population. There's not a single federal conspiracy charge from yesterday. This is Jim Crow's little brother, John Crow. People need to understand. A head in the sand is a head chopped off in the basket pan at this point. I genuinely believe that some of the Democrats like Pelosi are going to make an example out of maybe half of those people. Maybe a few of them will go to jail, and I guess that's something. They want the purge. All white people are prepped. What I'm hearing and seeing is that a civil war is already on the horizon. They're ready with all the tactics. The doomsday people, too. I actually hope now people can come together to stop white supremacy and dismantle capitalism now that they see it. These people dream about just even getting the chance to fight. They idolize that part of history. They'll fight even if they don't care. Is a new constitutional convention possible after the root of the white power structure is nullified? That's a good question. I do feel like if we start making changes, just everything's gonna have to go. Like, we're really gonna have to strip all of our processes down and build from the ground up, because literally the foundation of everything is rotten, which you guys have also heard me say in like tons of videos. Like, the shit is rotten and it's everywhere. Like, you guys remember when I first started making videos and I was like, everything is racist. Racism is everywhere. And people used to want to argue, and they used to like be in the comments and everywhere. And you guys would like see me argue even with people in real life and like all that stuff. Like, on different panels and in different places, and people being like, well, no, you can't really think like racism is everywhere. Like, when you used to say that everything is racist, the school system is racist, the police are racist, economy is racist, housing, the food, we live in food deserts, farming, land, everything. People used to be like, no, everything can't be, like, as if it was impossible, right? Like, everything can't be racist. Like, it just doesn't. We had a black president. No. We had a biracial Kenyan American president, but we're not going there. We're not going there. We're not going down that road. But everything is racist. So if they really want to address it, they're going to have to change everything. Is that possible without a war? Is it possible? Zombies will be a mercy at this point. Real talk. Only the super rich can afford bunkers. White folks have whole bunkers and basements full of Armageddon supplies. My manager was a prepper. I don't think it's only the super rich that have bunkers. I think that's also something that like regular people believe. That's not true. a lot of white people are into prepping, and they have like, even if it's not a bunker, they have a shelter, they have a fucking hole in the basement, they have a fucking a crawl space. Like, Google preppers, you will be stunned. I was just reading this other thing the other day about regenerative agriculture and how white people are trying to like make regenerative agriculture a thing, even though Black Americans and Indigenous Americans have like been practicing regenerative agriculture, and now they're acting like it's this like new thing. And you guys know that this is also something that I've criticized fucking the Green New Deal for, is that there's really nothing in there that addresses like the historic theft of land from Black Americans, farmland, the historic theft of practices. Like, there's nothing in there. They want to like, we want to get shit back to like the family owned farm. Them white family owned farms, they're still on stolen land and stolen property. So how you gonna address it? How you gonna address it? Nobody has an answer. They stormed the Capitol yesterday. They got an answer. These people are preparing for the meteor shower that brings the radioactive aliens. They're ready. Survivalists. Exactly, Kai. Using land that they got from the Homestead Act to fund their pursuits. They've been ready since the 50s with them bunkers. How I even got into the idea of preppers and them bunkers and shit was the movie Blast from the Past with Brendan Fraser and Alicia Silverstone, because that's like the plot of the movie. This like guy builds a bunker that's like an exact replica of his house, but it's like underground. It's like the 50s, so it's like Cold War era. And a plane falls on their house, and he thinks it's like a nuclear bomb. So he takes him, his wife, and his son, who's Brendan Fraser as a kid, like down into the bunker, and they live down there for like 30 years or something, or 40 years, something like that. And then when they come out, the movie's from like the 90s. And then when they come out, it's like the 90s, and they're old, and Brendan Fraser's like grown, because the doors like automatically lock, because he was like, oh, I estimate that it'll take like at least 40 years for the nuclear fallout to like be gone before we can like come out. So he like locked it up for 40 years, and then they like came out and they saw that like there never was any nuclear war, and then they have to like adapt to life in the present. I love that movie. It's like a really cute movie. It sounds more serious than I'm making it, but that movie got me into like bunkers and like prepping. That's just real. Like that's not something they made up for the movie. Some people just prep in order to protect their families, which I think is smart. In some ways, I think that serious conversations can be had now, because backing the violent insurrection as president delegitimizes any real political opinions. Their seats will gradually break down. But my thing about like the people in the House and the Senate, they should be expelled. And the fact that they might not be, or like that there's even a question, already shows that our whole political process is a farce. I mean, it already was. The whole concept of like the Electoral College, voter suppression, all that shit. I mean, the whole concept of an elected official, you guys know that I don't fuck with that idea. I think it's like a fucked up ass idea. But like, it's a farce. How can they expect people to continue going along with this? This is why Gen Z is depressed. Because they already think everything's over. You're right. They're out in the boonies training for urban warfare. I've been resting a lot more often. I remember what you said about self-care, because this shit will tire anyone out. Yeah, you guys got to take care of yourselves. That's why I said I'm not saying this to scare anybody. I'm saying this so that people understand they got to take care of themselves. Like, and again, not just in any type of like violent way or anything like that, but like mentally, like you got to be in the right mindset and understand what's happening. Final fight. Yeah, the Black Americans is coming back. It was supposed to be season 3. I was supposed to do season 3 last year, but you know, COVID, shim jam. But the Black Americans is coming back. I think I'm gonna film season 3 this year and do it this year. I wasn't able to do it last year because lockdown and stuff. Imagine dying for Trump. Wow. House members getting $174K and begrudgingly giving taxpayers $600. They look so fearless. They knew nothing would happen to them. Imagine being a vet and dying for a draft dodger. Imagine, Warren. Imagine. We've been in a never-ending war this whole time. Black Americans versus the cops, blacks versus whites, and everyone else. They should take her vet benefits too. She should be labeled a traitor and stripped of anything that she has. Her family should get nothing. They shouldn't get any money, no more, nothing from the military. She should be branded a traitor and an enemy of the state. Full stop. Everyone involved, including the members of the House and the Senate. Is that going to happen? No. How can they expect anyone to take them seriously? I'm talking about everybody in government. Everyone. I don't care. Like, how can they expect anyone to take them seriously? Like, it's cute that all these black people recently got elected for stuff and, Raphael Warnock and stuff, like, congratulations. But how can they expect anyone to take them serious? Damn, that woman died for Donald Trump. Talk about a total fail. They made sure not to show her get shot on the news too, but they show black people. Now they're saying she shouldn't have died because she wasn't armed. White supremacy at its finest. Betsy DeVos also just resigned. They were all Blue Lives Matter during Black Lives Matter, but now in the same breath, with their dying breath, they're trying to fight the police. It's a joke. We saw what happened on the 6th. Let's see what happens on the 20th. We should, if we aren't currently in a war, then what exactly do we call this? Mass shootings, killings at protests, and attempts to overthrow the election. Remy, it sounds like a war and a coup d'etat to me. These people got their heads in the sand. They're delusional. I'm glad you drew the comparison of the preppers and terrorists we saw yesterday, because they really are prepping for a race war. They are not preparing for no reason. Same with the QAnon people. PSA, yes, all white people, classic. There was Reconstruction, and white people were like, wait, stop. It's the same thing now. The Constitution hasn't been modified ever. Right, they were like, why does everything have to be about race? Everything is about race. I don't think there will be a civil war, because I think at least 50% of white America would have to be on board. I do, however, think that there will unfortunately be much more terrorism attacks. You don't think that 50% of white America is on board? 70 million people voted for Donald Trump again. I'm being dead serious. Keep making. You don't think that at least 50% of white America would be on board? I do. I mean, I think that's a low number. I feel like. I don't want to say 100% because that sounds mean. 99%? Maybe there's 1% of white people that wouldn't participate, like the John Browns of this country. But most of them, I think, would. It is so deep. Everything must go. Everything must go. I wonder if Biden's going to make it through his 4 years. It's a lot of stress. We'll see. Or do you mean you think somebody's going to kill him? A black woman was shot 5 times for making a wrong turn in D.C. Right. They were in the building and nothing happened. Let's not be naive. Exactly. Like me, I keep seeing these people talking about, like, I never would have thought it was that easy to get in the Capitol. All of our foreign enemies are like now seeing how easy it is to get into our federal buildings and da-da-da. I was like, no, you guys are like taking the wrong lesson away from this. It's not that easy. This was a conspiracy. Like, it's not that easy. Like, trust me. They have security checkpoints everywhere. Like, DC is like the most police city in the United States. They have cameras everywhere, security checkpoints everywhere, barricades everywhere. It's not that easy. They were allowed in there. Like, naivete. At what point does naivete become delusion? There are poor people and middle-class people who slowly prepped over time, like for years and decades. Regular people definitely hold resources for prepping. My BF's dad is a major prepper who moved to Arizona just to afford his habits. Yep, like in that second Cloverfield movie. Exactly, Mel. If you're committed, you can do it. The rural bitches got places to hide all this land and property. Armed revolution is always at the precipice of societal change. Sorry for those that think it's all going to be incremental reform, but violence is going to happen. Hi, Queen. The whites over here in LA got inspired by the coup in DC, and they attacked people yesterday too. I saw something, I think Vox, maybe, they ran a headline that said, like, all different, like they had like a whole list of all the various state capitals that were like under siege yesterday. It was a lot of them. It was like a coordinated effort to like hit the United States Capitol and like state capitals and attack people. Did you guys know that one of the requirements to move up the ranks of the Proud Boys is to get in a physical fist fight with a member of an opposing ideology? That's a requirement. I don't know how these people really think they're going to be able to like talk and like lean across the aisle and like come together. Like, they already want to fight. Like, they don't want to lean across the aisle. For a lean across the aisle, come together, healing to work, like both sides have to actually want to do that. And like, they don't want to do that. And we don't want to do that either. So like, I'm not trying to lean across the aisle to no racists. So like, it's not going to happen. Put the whole planet in a trash bag, Control, Alt, Delete. Oh, I see somebody got blocked. Listen, also, I know y'all think it's cute to ask the same question 100 times. If I don't see you, you will get blocked for that. You will get blocked for spamming. Block. Block. Oh, you know what? You wasn't even blocked. Or maybe you were. I don't know. It just says your messages got deleted. Well, I doubly blocked you, whoever you were, Jessica. How have I never heard of this movie? Prepping is rooted more on Cold War anxieties, I'd say. That was like look up the movie. They start prepping their children early too. Small children practice with paintball guns and older kids go with their parents to the gun range. That nigga was ready in that movie. They'll dig out their own pit with shovels. In the past 3 years, my uncle's been talking about preparing for a war and building an underground bunker for the family. Cori Bush was the first politician to say that members who incited it should be expelled. The only person talking about expulsion is Cori Bush, and people are saying she's being too radical. Like, how is that too radical? Again, how do they expect us to continue taking them in this farce seriously? I genuinely believe in my heart, soul, that we're going to see the end of elections in our lifetime. I really do. We're going to see the end of politics as we know it in our lifetime. I really believe. I believe this. I believe this. We're talking about 300 million plus firearms in the hands of 50 million or so people. They're heavily armed. I don't, Kai. I don't. I would like to, but I don't. Betsy DeVos just resigned. Yeah, there y'all go. She went on, right, that lady went on 2 tours to die a traitor. She should be completely stripped of her ranks and privileges. Take away her Navy federal account too. All of her, because like her husband and her kids are still going to be able to like receive her military benefits. Nah. They need to, we know her name. They need to strip all that shit. If they don't, again, if people are not expelled from the House and the Senate, if people are not arrested for sedition and treason, how can they expect us to take them serious? I mean, I already don't, but how can they expect anybody to take them serious? This stuff is so performative. There are only 13 days left in Trump's presidency. She will get a service member funeral service, I'm sure. Just goes to show how meaningless everything is. Georgia becoming blue was a fun thought, but what does it really mean? Going to really be applying self-care practices this year because it's a lot. Yeah, it's always been hard for me to shut out the world like that. I'm sensitive. I really do care. Trump isn't finished. Trump is finished, but Trumpism isn't. If you out there flying a rebel flag, you gotta go. For those politicians to not be expelled means our legislative branch, is willing to still formally meet with them to discuss policy in the direction of the country. To not expel them is legitimizing them. I totally 100% agree, Danny. Totally agree. I keep like adjusting my shirt because it's like riding up my Martin Luther King Memorial shirt in DC. I had to wear a DC specific shirt for this one. It was definitely, yeah, I saw it on social media, the lady getting shot, but not on the news. Meanwhile, they show Walter Scott getting shot in the back. Oh, they showed the whole 8 minutes of George Floyd's neck getting kneeled on repeat, but they won't show this fucking bitch getting shot up. Funny. Cabinet members are resigning so they don't have to vote on the 25th Amendment to get rid of Trump. If nothing was done to the traitorous Confederates, they won't do anything to anybody now either. People are so disassociated. Hi, Kelly. I'm waiting for my goofy neighbor to come outside so I could ask him about these thugs that ran up on the Capitol. He had all the smoke for Black Lives Matter. Be careful, Nova. I know you are, always, but just saying. They were looking at their sisters and brothers and friends and uncles and aunts and grandfathers and cousins and husbands in the eyes yesterday. Couldn't fathom hurting their own. Why does everything have to be about racist gaslighting? Hi, Roderick. You said 98. 99.99999. Sim. Nicole, 75%. Warren said, and that's just white people. We're not even counting the non-black POCs that will also fight on their side. Right? Like all them Latinx for Trump. Like, people are in denial about the state of our country for real. Like, it's really still people that really think Biden's going to come in and they're going to get their little vaccination and COVID's going to be over and we all just going to, and they're just going to be able to like go back, to brunch or whatever. Like, it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. They should just let these whites secede and have their Handmaid's Tale, white utopian police state. Lincoln said a house divided can't stand. Okay, now let them out the house. Richard Kreitner, break it up. There's also so many people who don't vote that still agree. Yeah, there's definitely non-black POC in the crowds there. We saw white privilege in action yesterday. Yes, season 3 of the Black Americans will be coming back. I just couldn't do it. I was originally planning to do it last year, but couldn't do it because of COVID and everything. But I am planning on doing it this year. I don't want to do it virtual. I mean, I could do like a Zoom thing, but you guys know kind of like part of the whole process is like the trip and, I will probably film all of them outside because I am able to film outside. You guys know I've filmed outside before. So we'll try and figure out how we're going to do it. But barring incident, which, America might be on fire next week. I don't know. But, barring the zombie apocalypse, I'm still planning on doing it. Let's see. Where was I? This sounds like a cult. It really feels like Red Summer all over again. It's almost 100 years later. They have technology downtown so that they can hear what you're saying while you're walking down the street. People knew what was going to happen and allowed it to happen. Lean across the aisle and they'll chop your arm off. It is a gang initiation, Juanita. Absolutely. It's a gang. Right, Vanity. Oh, it's a gang. It's a gang. Their ideology is steeped in hatred. Yeah, it was just like all these random comments. Members of Congress are acting like victims as if they weren't secretly applauding their behavior. I'm tired of hearing this is not who we are as Americans. Yes, it is. I feel like some of these white people don't want to lose their economic access of being in a stable state. A lot are middle class and want to maintain their lack of risk of a domestic war, if that makes sense. I get what you're saying, keep making. I do think that there's a lot of stable, comfortable white people that wouldn't participate. But there was also a lot of stable, comfortable white people that didn't participate in the Civil War either. And it still happened. I don't think that every single person has to participate. I just feel like it's been so long since we've really experienced anything like that on U.S. soil. I feel like people have this like idea in their head of like what a war is, and especially what a civil war is, like as if every single person has to participate, and that's not the case. I know this is going to sound like a random example, but in Hotel Rwanda, which is an excellent movie, even though I don't agree with Don Cheadle being the main character in it, that's like sort of an underlying subplot in Hotel Rwanda that like this dude is like really not trying to participate in this war, in this like genocide. He's trying to just like chill and like continue running his luxury hotel, and like he ends up getting involved. And I think that type of thing happens, like if it's a war outside, like you don't have to be fighting, but it is outside, you know. Oh, she wasn't blocked. I just deleted her excess comments. Left the first one. Warned her not to spam. Oh, bye, girl. Bye. Hi, Christiana. I was raised with a prepper's mentality. As a child, I carried the burden of thinking something was going to go down any day. As an adult, though, I'm thankful. I was the same, Christiana. Dims is soft. They really need to strip that woman that got killed of everything. Dishonor. Dishonor on you. Dishonor on your cow. No military scholarship for the kids, nothing. So many white people own guns. People don't realize. I got a Groupon to a gun range on a random date night. Told my coworker about it. He offered to teach me how to shoot and told me about all the guns he owns. It's way more common than people think. Let's see. How do they expect the newly elected Senate to walk in the room after this? Bye, Danny. Oh, ABC showed her getting shot. Ori. The only upside to impeaching or removing Trump now would be they can make it so that he can never run again. Let's see. Where was I? Ain't no back to go to. People also need to remember that a lot of these people who voted for Trump and support him are young and ready for a war. Hi, Leandros. You've seen my video on integration, right? They're definitely not all old people who are dying soon. I'm just reading the comments, and when I get to the bottom, we'll end. I know we've been on a long time. It's getting late. They air Black Death on the news over and over. Modern day lynching, meant to be a warning and to keep us in line. They would never do that to the whites. The voter suppression is so ridiculous. Anyways. Oh man, a lot of them. You can look. If you look on the playlist, all of them have the name of where I was. I don't know how many states. I don't know what the actual number is. Yes, we have to do another movie night, Remy. I was supposed to come back to Detroit last year so we could go roller skating. COVID fucked all that up. That's why they didn't show her being shot. Even in death, they maintain their innocence. It's exhausting to witness the constant double standards. The police are a gang too. All of them are. Let's see. They're not doing enough. They just keep saying, this is a dark day. I'm ashamed of this behavior. There are a lot of people who will be able to sit it out. People have a misconception of what war looks like. Doesn't look like a movie. This is it. That's exactly how I feel too, Remy. Like, it's already here. Which I feel like I've said in like several videos over the years. Like, it is a war. I'm pretty sure I said that in my 2016 election video. Like, this is a war. Like, not to scare y'all. Like, but it's serious. Like, it is not funny. Like, it's not a joke. Beyonce, if you're still here, people keep asking me this. Why am I not on that panel show? The reason why I'm not on that panel show is because they hate Black Americans on there and they put me off there. Now y'all know. Like, that's why. I feel like everybody knows this. Like, they're xenophobic towards Black Americans. That's why. Like, they try to make it seem like I left or something. They try to put all the blame on me. They let people think whatever they want. Like, they don't correct people. They're xenophobic towards Black Americans, but they have no problem with using Black Americans for views, for topics, but they don't actually like Black Americans. So that's what happened. Anytime anyone asks what happened, they can be referred to this video. Like, it's 2021. It's been literally 3-4 years since I was on there. People keep asking, and I feel like I keep saying it. That's the reason. Please don't ask me again. And I feel like, you know, we're a little off topic now, but I also feel like, why am I the one that's constantly fucking questioned about this? Like, why am I the one, like, why is all this responsibility put on me? I didn't do anything and I didn't do anything wrong, and all this is put on me. They lie on people, they drag people through the mud, and people keep asking me. It's not on me. Go fucking ask them. Go ask them why they don't like Black Americans over there on that channel. Don't ask me again. Yesterday could have easily started an actual war. It didn't take much. War in many minds is overseas. Civil war is something we don't really think happens anymore, but it's been a war on Black Americans since the founding of this country. Let's remember the Civil War to this day has been the only war on U.S. soil. Sit on that. Thank Natalia. Like, it's been 86 years. Like, it's been so many years, and y'all keep asking. Like, not to yell at you guys, but like, go ask them. Stop asking me. They're the ones with the problem, not me. It's been years. Yes, I am. Is that where you are, Stefan? People have been brainwashed by Trump's cult. He gives them the go to do anything. And I dare somebody over on that platform to say I'm lying, so I could really air their ass out. He says jump and they say how high. That switch won't turn off for a long time. There's no turning back. We're so used to wars in the Middle East, we didn't think we'd ever see it on home turf. Lauren from Parable of the Sower was a Black girl prepper. Her father told her not to warn people because she would scare them. It's not just Trump either. This was brewing before him. It's going to get worse. Everyone treated 2020 like a bump in the road. I see 21 and on being crazier. Hi, Alex. Where was I? I don't understand why they haven't found more of these thugs today. DC has the means to find these people. They are, Tommy. Bree, we're really living through a war and a pandemic. It's like the frog in the boiling pot. Yes, we do, Monica. Oh, something got deleted. Is that right? Like, is that really a surprise? Like, are y'all really shocked? Are y'all really surprised? No. War happens rather gradually, not in one sudden eruption. Right. Thank you, Vanity. Why don't they ask them? Like, stop it. Oh, I see comments getting deleted. Just imagine all of the protests as many individual battles. Yeah, Kelly, I agree. I thought you just left, but it's obvious they don't like BAs because you literally never see any. I hate talking about this because I feel like it shouldn't be my responsibility to talk about, and no free promo. Like, I'm tired. Like, it's literally been years and years. Is it going to be like 20 years from now? Is this like my version of Twilight? Like, is it going to be 20 years from now? People still going to be asking me about this? Why don't you ask them why they don't like Black Americans? Why don't you ask them why they don't like Black Americans so they could fucking lie and be like, our producer's a Black American. Shut the fuck up, liars. How is it a panel of Black people telling Black Americans how they're supposed to act and you don't have any Black Americans? Like, listen, some people stormed the Capitol building yesterday. Like, I have more serious things to worry about in my life right now. You're still their highest viewed video. I'm absolutely their highest viewed video. Ask them if they ever paid me a dime. Y'all want to ask questions? Ask them if I've ever been paid a dime. Y'all want to ask questions? Ask them if I've ever been paid anything for any of my work, any of my contributions that's still getting views and making money to this day. Y'all want to ask questions? Ask away, but don't ask me. And meanwhile, my videos for them are still up, still their highest viewed, still making money. Like, come on now. Get out of here. Stop asking about that shit. Right. Like, I'm no longer on there. That's all it is. Stefan, get my email from the about page and email me, okay? Email me. Email me. You're the reason they got popular. That's a shame. And they ain't went viral since. The war has been here. Trump conceded. The MAGA people aren't taking it well now. There's an Instagram posting their IDs. The people that were there yesterday, yeah, Betsy, the Secretary of Education, resigned. I heard that some of the terrorists who were there yesterday went and stayed at hotels in the neighboring area and walked home. They did. They were allowed to leave and walk home. They specifically poison us through our food, water, medicine, and pollution, financially decimate us, physically kill us, mentally and emotionally torture us, cause spiritual confusion and violence. Like, and people still question if we are at war. Hi, Sabra. It's not my responsibility. You ain't gotta explain shit. You've already talked about it before. Ren is Robert Pattinson. I'm like, come on now. Yes, keep making. It's too much. No, ungodly hour. People could watch your videos and find you talking about it. Better yet, people who still follow them can see you aren't there and put two and two together. People don't think. Of course, the Sagittarius queen brought the most views. She was being honest. Get out of here. I think I know who Chris Lynn is, so I'm gonna unhide this person. Yeah, I'm gonna delete them too. Matter of fact, let me scroll up. Monica, you said you're deleting them right now. I'm about to scroll up and delete them and delete some too. You guys can delete them, but you don't have to block people. Yeah, you're blocking people. The boy in blue, don't block people, just delete. Delete it, but don't hit block, don't hit hide. It's hard because hide is like the go-to, but don't hit hide, hit delete. I'm scrolling up now and I can see the comments. So anyone that just accidentally got blocked, I'll unblock you right now. I'm just gonna remove. We're just gonna hit remove. Don't hit hide. Hit remove. I think Monica looks like you got all of them. Monica was like, boop, boop, boop. Monica was like that meme. Delete, 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 delete. I think anyone that got blocked should be unblocked. Just let me make sure. If you're gonna delete, just make sure you hit remove and not hide. Eli Empire, you should be back. Can you leave a comment so I can see if you're back? Because you got hidden instead of removed. Now back to the topic at hand. The war has been here. Robert Pattinson. Okay, I see Bambusa. Chris. Oh, okay, there you go. I see Monica. It looks like you guys got most of them. Of course not. Black American women are supposed to be mules. Yeah, you should be back, Eli Empire. Thank you, Nisi. Right, that's how I feel too, Chris. Like, whatever. That's how I feel. That's why I hate talking about it, because I just feel like it's free promo that I don't like. Whatever. Been cranking out more and higher quality work before incense anyway. Why care? Oh, you can see the updates. Oh, homegrown terrorists. That's the name of the IG. So somebody said that they're identifying the people from yesterday on Instagram. It's homegrown terrorists. Homegrown terrorists. Right. Didn't nobody even want to talk about that? Bookworm Radio. Like, don't nobody want to talk about that. Yes, only delete or remove. Yeah, remove. Bye, Bookworm Radio. Yeah, just remove it. Just remove it. You don't have to block. Since oh no, wait. Why did we do that? What the heck? These things are Razy Cranium Girl. It just like took mod ship away from you and then gave it back. You're still mod, right? Leave a comment so I can see if you have the wrench. Great job, mods. Y'all really on point tonight. Blockiana. Oh, thank you, Leandros. Hi, Max Data. Oh, okay, yeah. You're back. Okay, so, but that's that on that. We're not talking about that anymore. Like, ever again. Right, no free clout. We're not talking about that anymore. Anyways, I would say to all of you, just pray to protect your energy, spend time with your families, and enjoy yourselves because it's only going to get harder. Take care of yourselves. Thank you, Aaron. What will be the rest of 2021 if this is the start? We'll see, Kyrie. And there's Richie. On IG, best be on NBC, Fox, MSNBC, and CNN. They're saying that they're also naming them on TikTok as well. Meanwhile, the police just look around like, been rewatching The Black Americans. Can't wait for the new season. Yes, it's exciting. Yeah, she's still a mod. 45% of Republicans approved of the storming of the Capitol. Yeah, you're back. Hi, Winter Soul. Moss is on it even with 400 people in here. Hi, Star Dagger. Let's see. Be safe and protected. From now on, anytime someone asks about that, I'm going to respond with, it's been addressed, don't ask. And just link them to this video, which this is a good video to link they ass to anyway, because this is a live stream after motherfuckers stormed the Capitol. So this could be the video that they fucking watch anytime they want to fucking know about that. And they could just watch the whole motherfucking 2 hours too, bitch. And I just reached the end of the comments. The internet is doing a better job than the FBI and the authorities. Yes. Oh, yes. Reminder. Davey just brought up. Reminder. Next month is February. So that means that next month is daily videos. So get ready for daily videos. Woo! Yeah. And take care of yourselves, guys, because it's too much. It's a lot happening. So just take care of yourselves. All right. Thank you to everyone that tuned in. Thank you to everyone that did super chat and supports. And I will see you guys on Sunday because it's Thursday. Bye. Oh, also pay Seren for her work. That's the last comment I just saw. Bye, guys.